All right. Just on word on a lot of things that I hear these days, and one of them is the word Nazi and right winger, which just doesn't make any sense at all. Um, the Nazis, which stand for National Socialist Germans Workers' Party, and it's got socialism right in the title, and it's got German Workers' Party also in that title. So, if anything, you assume by the name that it's socialist. And, it's a dead giveaway. Okay? But the media these days get hooked on that word, nationalist, but not realizing that nationalist can mean a couple of different things. First, in the 1930s, there wasn't much of a globalist movement. Most nations were nationalist just by origin. Almost everybody was. They had very few open borders. In actual fact, they had very little in terms of free trade, and little in the terms of international actions between each countries. They more or less they had much more closed borders than we even do today. And it's not it's just a play on words, because nationalists in terms of the Nazis, the National Socialist Germans Workers' Parties, really means more of what their direction in terms of their acquiring the services. So, like, for example, when they say nationalist, they mean it more in the Ed Broadbent term, where you're acquiring the banks. So we're transportation, we're education, that kind of thing. You're nationalizing the bank system. You're nationalizing the transit system. You're nationalizing heavy industries. And that's essentially what the Germans did. Let's go down the list. They nationalized banks. Okay. They took control of all the banks. They nationalized health, right? They nationalized transportation. They nationalized heavy industry. They nationalized the news. It was all German-controlled news organization. So it has nothing to do with right wing at all. And this is the left hijacking history and kind of rewriting it where they look a little bit more, and we're maybe not look great because of things that happen in China and things that happen in Russia, but they're trying to say, well, look at the right wingers. They're not that much better. They got the Nazis and stuff like that. Nazis is a socialist movement. It's a socialist movement. It's big government, right? It acquiring, they're making all the decision for the people. There's social engineering, right? The only thing the Nazis did that was different is they did it suddenly. Today it's more creeping socialism. We adopt a new program, and the government gets slightly bigger, and they take more of our rights away and try to pay us back by giving us more services. So we're getting more and more indebted into the governmental system, and not so much like right wing, which is right wing is smaller government, less intrusive into people's lives, less decision making. I mean, it's getting in Canada where, God, you can have so many things done to you by government. You gotta watch what you do to your kid. You gotta watch what you say to your kid. You gotta watch what you say in the news. You've got to be very careful, even what you tweet, what you put on YouTube, because the government is like, they can swoop in on you and basically jail you. What does that sound like? We're getting closer and closer to German Nazis, right? And it has nothing to do with the right wing. Actually, we're moving farther away from liberty and smaller government and more of our own choice. We're actually striding towards big government. And every time government makes a move or make a new law, they're just taking that more away from you. So this is why we got to be careful that we correctly label things. We got to stop with the Nazis were right wingers. You know, that is just nonsense. And if you don't believe me, it only takes a tertiary glance at the Nazi Party to actually see what I'm saying is actually true. So let's put an end to the villainization of the right through associating it with the Nazis, because we're not Nazis. We're quite the opposite of that. All right. Well, thanks for watching. Catch you next time.